Alright guys, I'm going to go over number 31 to 34 regarding geometric sequence on number 31 to 34. The video that I showed you on page 4 isn't one way that you can do it. It is a longer way, but it works. This is the one that you can actually use the formula, okay? Now, keep in mind, make sure you read the directions. It says, given two terms, okay? We're doing 31 through 34. Given two terms in a geometric sequence, find the common ratio, the term name, as well as the explicit formula. So you are looking for three things, and you want credit for all three. So let's take a look at number 1, number 31. First of all, they give you your first term, and that first term is a1. By the way, the formula is an is equal to a of 1 times your ratio, n minus 1. Make sure you know your explicit formula, okay? All right, so you got your first term is 1, don't know your second, don't know your third, and your fourth is a 64. So, let's take a look. This is your first term, and this is your fourth term, okay? So let's use our formula to try to help us find our ratios. So you got the fourth term, which is 64, is equal to your first term, which is 1, times your ratio. What number is 64? It is your fourth. So 4 minus 1. So now you're going to divide by 1. Divide by 1. That cancels. So you got 64 is equal to r raised to the third power. Okay? So what is the inverse of a cube? Well, it is a cube root. See that right there? So what is a cube root of 64? A cube root of 64 is 4. Just in case you didn't know that, you can also type that into your calculator or use your formula sheet, okay? And if you type into your calculator, you would type it just like this. Let me get out of that. Clear? All right. So you're going to hit math. You see where it has a cube root of 4? Type in 64. A cube root of 64 is 4. So there is your common ratio. Next thing you have to find is you have to find the explicit formula. So what is your explicit formula going to look like? Well, all you have to do is plug it in. So here's your explicit formula. Okay. So a of n is equal to your first term. What's your first term? 1 times your r. What is your r? 4 n minus 1. There is your explicit formula. Now you got to find the term name. So what term are we looking for? We're looking for the 10th terms. 10th term. So a of 10 is equal to your first term times your 4, 10 minus 1. And what is your 10th term going to be? Well, you can just type that into your calculator. 1 parentheses, 4 raised to the 10 minus 1, which is 9. And that number is going to be 262. Let me write it correctly. 144. 262,144. And so you have answered all three questions for number 31. Okay? Let's go to number 32. Here we go. All right. You don't know the first term. You don't know the second. The third is 27, and the fourth is 81. Okay? So, now, ratio on this one's real easy. So how you find that ratio? You take that 81 divided by the previous term, which is 7, and 81 divided by 27 comes out to be, 3. Okay? So there is your common ratio. Capital R, lowercase r, it doesn't matter. All right. Now, knowing that, okay, you're going to multiply by 3. So if you're multiplying going in this direction, what is the opposite of multiplying? You're going to divide. So let's see if we can go find our first term. So you take 27 divided by 3. That leaves you 9. You see how it's descending going left? Divide by 3 again, and that gives you 3. And there's your first term. Knowing your first term, you can now find your explicit formula. So what is your explicit formula going to look like? A of n is equal to your first term, which is 3. Your r is also 3, n minus 1. Then it says, hey, go find me my 11th term. Well, you can keep going and multiply by 3 till you get to 11, or you can just plug it into your formula. First term times your common ratio, 11 minus 1. So, what is your 11th term going to be? 3 times 3 raised to the 10, right? And that 11 terms is going to be 177,147. All right. That is a lot easier to do than the other way, but you can still do it the other way, okay? All right, let's look at number 33. On 33, we do not know first, second, third, but we know 4, 5th, 6th, 7. Okay, make sure you use all those numbers. All right, so let's take a look. 1, 2, 3. Let's make this one our first term, 2, 3, and make that one our fourth term. So that way we can find our R. So how you go about finding your R? Well, fourth term is 2,041.40625 is equal to your first term, and then we'll find the actual first term in a little bit, times your R raised to the 4 minus 3, because that was our fourth term, okay? So how do you solve for R? You divide by 156.25. What you do to one side, you do to the other side, just like that. All right, let's go ahead and type this in and see what we get. Okay. So 2441.40625 divided by 156.25 comes out to be 15.625 is equal to R raised to the third power. Take a cube root, okay? So go to math, cube root is 4, type in 15.625, and R comes out to be 2.5, and there's your common ratio. All right, now that you know what the common ratio is, can you now go find your first term? Well, yeah. Remember, going to the right, you're going to multiply. Inverse of multiplication is division. So 156.25 divided by 2.5. So this comes out to be 62.5. That's your third term. Divided by 2.5. Second term is 25. Divided by 2.5. And first term is a 10. Now that you know your first term, you can write your explicit formula. So, A of n is equal to your first term, which is 10, times your R, n minus 1. Okay? And then you're looking for the fifth term, a to the fifth. Hey, two ways you can do it. You can plug it into that formula, or can't you just multiply 156.25 times 2.5? Isn't this your first, second, third, fourth? Here's your fifth term, okay? So I'm just going to do it that way instead of plugging into the formula. 156.25 times 2.5. And your fifth term comes out to be 390.625. And that's your fifth term. And there's number 33. 34. Okay, same scenario. All right. Don't know first, don't know second. Third is 2916. Fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth. Okay. Make this one your first. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this one your 7. So you can go find R. Here we go. So 256 is equal to 2916 times your R. That is your 7th term. 7 minus 1. So you're going to take 256 divided by 2916, and that gives you a decimal. Now, keep in mind, decimal is not always an exact answer. You are more than welcome to write it like that if you want to, okay? But I'm actually going to convert that to a fraction, so I can just deal with the fraction. 64 over 729 is equal to R raised to the 6. Well, what is opposite of raised to the 6? That'll be your 6th root, okay? Let me show you how to type this in. Ready? On your calculator, if you have a TI-84, you are going to hit Math and go to number 5. Just like that. Now, this part right here, let me get out of that. Let me hit Math, number 5. Okay, I don't know why it does that. We're going to enter 6. Then you're going to right click over. Keep in mind, put parentheses around your fraction, okay? Some calculators you don't have to, but some does, and just kind of getting that habit will keep you from messing up. Tells you that's a fraction. Now, on this calculator, you probably didn't have to do a parentheses. You could have just right click, either way. And that comes out to be 0.66666. Notice this is rounding, so hit Math. So R is equal to 2/3. Try to use an exact answer. All right? If you have a different calculator, you could type 6, hit Math, hit number 5, and it will do it automatically. 2 different ways to do it. 64 divided by 729. Now, if you notice how your radical sign keeps going, this one you didn't have to have parentheses. And you right click and you get out of it, and you're going to get the same solution. But some calculators only do it for the first one, and you're only going to take the 6th root of 64 and not 729. So make sure you know your calculator well. All right, knowing that, I can now go find my first term, okay? So I'm going to take 2916 divided by 2 divided by 2/3. That gives you, let me go ahead and write this in red. 4374 divided by 2/3 gives you 6561. That is now your first term, and you can find your explicit formula. So what is your explicit formula going to look like? A of n is equal to your first term, 6561 times your r, which is 2/3 n minus 1. And there's your explicit. Okay. Let's go ahead and find our 6th term. I don't want to multiply all the way to 6, so I'm just going to plug this one in. A to the 6 is 6561. Your number should be heading lower. Keep that in mind. 6 minus 1. Okay, so what is our 6th term going to be? 6561 parentheses, times, parentheses, 2 divided by 3 raised to the 5. And that number is 864. And so there's how you do number 1 to 34. Okay. Make sure you read the direction, please. Because on 29 through 30, if you'll look, I'm going to take a step back. What did it ask you to find? Explicit formula, the first 5 terms, and the term name. So those are 3 things that you have to find. So please, please, please read your directions when you take this test. Thank you.